2 Corinthians 13:9-11. Striving
point.
for full
That's- I think that should
restoration
be very
encourages
That's a very
one
fair
another.
point, yes.
Be of one
Yeah.
mind, lives in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you.
Let me, I
Yeah,
want
man,
to
go
ask
ahead.
a question. Why this outcry never came when he was going into our courthouse?
It did.
It did?
Yes.
That he shouldn't be serving in the court, and,
Yes.
and it was
Yes.
all over the news and stuff like that?
Yes, it did.
I
There were
don't know if
quite
it was all over the news, but it was in the news.
and there were quite a few lawyers who simply suggested that he should not have been given the opportunity.
Okay.
It was brought
And
to the GLC and they had to arbitrate it.
Let me ask the next question. So, one that went and get rehabilitation, yeah, did their time. Should they come out and expect that there is limitation as to how far they can go now in life?
I believe so, yes.
You believe so?
Yes.
So you don't believe in forgiveness then?
No, forgiveness and, as I said, forgiveness and having something simply forgotten are two different things. There's for example, a reason we won't allow a sex offender who has has his record expunged or served his time or rehabilitated, quote unquote, from serving in the nation's schools.
Very much so, based on the crime that he has committed and based on around children and stuff like that. Yeah, but we have nothing in our constitution that prevents Isaac from becoming
No, we do not.
MP.
This is not a legal argument. This is a moral argument. This is an ethical
So
argument.
we do this legal argument some of the times, and some of the times we do it morally.
No, I
Some of the
for
times-
one think that we should put a point in the Constitution which suggests that once you've had a criminal conviction, you cannot serve in the Parliament. I am all for that.
But I'm saying, if you're going to just limit it to the Parliament, you got to place it in almost every in the courthouse. The courthouse is just as
No, but
important
that
as
provision
Parliament.
already exists in the courthouse. He's allowed to serve as a lawyer because his Jamaican conviction was expunged, and even upon that basis, it still had to go to the GLC, and the GLC had to hear
serving.
arguments and discussions and all of that to say whether he
still
could or
serving.
could not serve. And I pulled the
He's still
thing up,
serving.
because I keep referencing this back every time people bring up Mr. Buchanan. And this was the conclusion of the GLC on that matter. After considering all the evidence, counsel concluded by a majority that both the subjective test and the objective test had been satisfied. As regards to the subjective test, members were in no doubt that the applicant had been fully rehabilitated and did not pose any undue risk to the public. The objective test was more challenging. Counsel recognized that some members of the legal profession and of the public generally may consider that admitting the applicant would adversely affect the reputation of the profession, but concluded that most would share its view that in all circumstances the applicant would be an asset to the profession. For these reasons, the council decided by a majority to approve the application and to issue the applicant a qualifying certificate and a certificate pursuant to Section 6 of the Legal Profession Act.
And
No,
this guy was in the Privy Council, right?
he
He went to the Privy Council to fight a case, right?
yes.
Yes.
And
But
what did
my
they say
question
in
then
what
to
did
you,
they-
Omalu,
what
is
did they-
this
what did the
this is
legal
from
counsel say?
2017. My question is, Omalu, if you spoke to the members of that panel today who adjudicated this matter, would they share the same opinion?
Why not? Why not? What crime has he committed since then? Human beings are fallible, you know. Human beings are not perfect, you know.
I'm not
There is
calling.
no
I'm not
perfect
calling for
human
infallibility. I'm not calling for infallibility, Mr. Omalu. There, I'm suggesting that there are some annals of our country that certain individuals should not be permitted to, based
So
on
we
their
are saying
antecedents.
that if we have
And that
people
is
of
and that
great
is the
talent,
standard for any profession, any culture has things that bar them from certain areas.
if we have people of great talent and they have rehabilitated themselves,
I'm not asking him to not do it.
contribute.
I hear he's a very good singer and he writes songs. He can do that if he wishes. I have no problem with that.
So is that a
I'm
contribution?
saying he can't serve in the parliament. That is what I'm saying.
But you see, here's the problem that I have, Omalo, and I share the thoughts with you. As Siobhan just read in that conclusion, it says, after considering all the evidence, counsel concluded by a majority that both the subjective test and the objective test had been met. As regards to the subjective test, and they go further to talk about that, but the point that I'm trying to make is they indicated that based on their reviewing of all that was placed before them, the individual had been fully rehabilitated did not pose any undue risk.
And more recently, that same
for the public.
GLC said that he should be suspended until he called for that to be.
But Siobhan, we are weighing now what he. No. But what the comments that he made, was it criminal?
I'm not suggesting it was a criminal complaint.
But we're talking about the criminal aspect of it. And they
once again,
Sanjay,
we are arguing semantics. I'm not talking a legal case against Mr. Buchanan. I'm suggesting that once you have committed certain actions and certain crimes, regardless of rehabilitation or not, you should not be allowed to sit in the Parliament of Jamaica.
Okay, let's lobby the politicians to change the law.
Forgiveness and rehabilitation is not something without its limits.
For real? Then you are going to limit the growth of the country because you are
by barring criminals from serving in the House of Representatives. I'm going to limit all right, Omalo. Then in that response, I will say I am fine with limiting the growth of the country in such a way as to bar people with criminal convictions from serving in the Parliament. I am willing to accept that. I am willing to accept that limitation on our Parliament.
Maybe then what the point that Omalo is making is correct.
Your opinion, yeah?
Bring it back to the politicians then.
Rehabilitated in this country and any other country.
I have acceded to your argument in the Omalo. I am willing to accept the limitation of this country if it means barring people with criminal antecedents from serving in our Parliament. I am willing to accept that.
I accept what you accept.
Very well.
Yeah, I accept
I am willing to die on that hill, Omalo.
And I respect it.
All right.
For me, I'm saying if this man has something to contribute and the society of a whole find him to be rehabilitated, I think we should give him the chance. Not to stifle.
Oh no, he has been given chances, He has been given chances, and he has been found wanting subsequent to those chances he's been given.
Well, we are a country of law and order, and let's live by the laws and
You can't have law and order without a moral background behind it in Omalo. I don't know how people think that. I don't see how people
with morals and all of these things.
Really? Where do you think we get our jurisprudence from?
We are not living in a.
What do you think informs our jurisprudence if not the Abrahamic and biblical faith?
No, we are not living in a theologian society.
It's not a matter of theology. I'm talking morals and theology are not exactly inextricably linked, They have a linkage, but they can also be separated. That's why we have ethics as well.
Yeah, but morals are subjective, And what you would
and every society has a subjective law.
Yeah, morals are subjective.
And laws are subjective too as well, Omalo.
What you would consider to be morally
Over the pandemic.
Portland Eastern. Remember, if you don't have a